Hey guys, welcome back. Yesterday, if you have been tracking news, Pinecone, which we had used in the previous one, was able to raise 100 million, and they were valued at 750 million. And a very popular VC called Anderson invested in them, and this is what they have written on Pinecone and why they think they invested in Pinecone. So, with the inflection of large language model, we are witnessing a paradigm shift in software development and computing industry as a whole. AI happening and a new stack is forming before our eyes. It's like internet all over again, which calls into service new infrastructure components built for new way of doing things. There is a growing recognition that LLMs are actually a new form of computer. In some cases, they run computers written in natural language, execute arbitrary computing tasks, example Python code or searching Google, and return the results back to the user in a human readable form. This is big deal for two reasons. A new class of application around summarization and generation content is now possible, resulting in a change of consumer behavior and software consumption. A new class of developer is now able to write software. Computer programming now requires only mastery of English, not training in traditional languages like Python or JavaScript. So, one of the top priorities of Anderson is to identify companies building the key components of this new AI stack. We are thrilled to announce that they will be leading a 100 million Series B into Pinecone to support the vision of becoming the memory layer for AI application. So the problem, LLM hallucinates and are statelets. A huge challenge with current LLM hallucination is hallucination. They give very confident answers that are factually and sometimes logically incorrect. For example, asking the LLM for a gross margin of Apple for the last quarter can result in a confident answer of 63 billion. The model can even back up answer by explaining subtracting 25 billion from that gross puts in revenue. So you get a gross margin of 63 million. Of course, it's wrong on several dimensions. First, the revenue number is wrong as LLM does not have real-time data. It is working off the state training data that is months or probably year old. Second, it picked up those revenue and cost of goods randomly from a fruit company financial statements. Third, its gross margin calculation is not mathematically correct. Imagine giving that answer to a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. All this happens at the end of the day. LLMs are prediction machines trained on vast amount of third-party internet data. Often the information the user needs simply is the training data set, is not in the training data set. So the model will try to give the probable and linguistically well formulated answers based on its stale training data set. We can already start to see the potential solution to the above problem: feeding contextually relevant private enterprise data to real-time LLM. The general form of this problem is that from the system's perspective, LLMs and most AI models are stateless in the inference step. Each time you make a call to GPT-4 API, the output depends only on the data and the parameter you send in the payload. The model has no built-in way to incorporate contextual data or remember what you have asked before. So model fine-tuning is possible, but it's expensive and relatively inflexible. That is, the model can't respond to newer data in real time. Since the models don't manage state or memory on their own, it is up to developers to fill the gap. So the solution are vector databases. So the vector databases are real-time storage layers for LLM. This is where Pinecone comes in. Pinecone is an external database where developers can store contextual data for LLM apps rather than sending the large document collection back and forth every layer. With every API call, developers can store them in a Pinecone database, then pick only the relevant one to any query. An approach called is in-context learning. It is a must for enterprise use cases For it is a must-have for enterprises use cases to truly bloom. In particular, Pinecone is a vector database, which means every data is stored in the form of semantically meaningful embeddings, which is technical explanation of embeddings is beyond the scope of this post. The important part of this is LLMs also operate in vector embeddings. So by storing data in Pinecone in this format, part of AI work has effectively been pre-processed and offload to a database. So unlike existing database which are designed for atomic, transactional or exhaustive analytic workloads, the Pinecone Vector DB is designed for eventually approximate near search, the right database paradigm for high dimension vectors. They also provide developer API for integrating with other components of AI applications such as OpenAI Cohere LangChain. Such a well thought out design makes developers' lives much easier. Simple AI tags like semantic search, product recommendations, or feed ranking can also be modeled directly as a vector search problem and can run on vector database without a final model inference step, something existing database can't do. Pinecone is an emerging standard for managing state and contextual data in LLM application. We think an important infrastructure component providing the storage or memory layer to an AI application stack. And they've also mentioned incredible progress Pinecone has done to date. So Pinecone is not only a vector database, but it's the leading vector database ready for real world adoption by significant margin. It has seen 8x growth in paid customers in just 3 months, including forward looking tech company like Shopify, Gong, Zapier and more. It is used in wide range of industries including enterprise software, consumer apps, e-commerce, fintech, insurance, media, AI, ML. With this success, not only the team's deep understanding of the user model, the technology, but also critical to the cloud native product approach from the start. One of the hardest part of building this service is providing reliable, highly available cloud backend that meets a wide range of consumer performance target like SLAs with multiple iterations, and the product architecture and managing many high scale paid customers in production has operational experience. So this, they have mentioned how good they are. So the founder is Edo Liberty, who has long been a diehard advocate and importance of vector databases in machine learning. And as we have seen, you can pick whichever ML you want, like AWS, or it supports GCP and other stuff. So they have mentioned basically why they have invested into this. And one more thing I wanted to mention is, if you go to Pinecone, so, and they also have a post, we are hiring. So if you see the open roles, there are many roles in some are hybrid, some are in person, and some are remote too. So you can also check them out. I think since they have got funding and since there have also been some negative news in the pipeline, so this is a really good company. And given the growth they will be going through, it's a wonderful time to apply for Pinecone. And hope this helps. And thank you for joining.